Good evening, everyone, or good morning, or good afternoon, depending on when you're watching this. Actually, technically, it's still afternoon, but you can sort of see it's pretty dark out, right? It's like, what, 5 in the afternoon, and it's already dark. It is a dark time of year, isn't it? So anyway, today we're going to be talking about different ways of honoring the dead. And we're doing this for a couple of reasons. One is in honor of Debbie Innes. We unfortunately were unable to plant the daffodils in her honor last Sunday, but I look forward to planting daffodils for her with you all this coming week. It's such a wonderful way to honor her. I only wish that I could have met her because I never got the chance to meet her, and she sounds like quite an amazing woman, and I would have loved to know her. But at least I can help plant the daffodils in her name. And the daffodils are such a wonderful way to remember her because daffodils are a symbol of springtime and of rebirth. You plant them in the fall and then they'll just emerge in the springtime when everything is emerging again and opening up. And they're so sunny and wonderful and cheerful. And so as a symbol of rebirth, they're a wonderful way to remember her because even though she's no longer with us, by remembering her, it's like it's a way of keeping her with us. It's a way of, when those daffodils come up, we can remember her again, and it's a way of bringing her back to us through the memories that you have of her. I say we, but I don't have memories of her. So, but the memories that you have of her, when you see the daffodils, you can remember her. Also, we just had Halloween and All Souls Day, right? So All Souls Day is a way that we as Christians remember the dead and our ancestors that are no longer with us. And Halloween originally came from All Hallows Eve or All Hallowtide, which is related in a way. Halloween has many sort of, our current today traditions of Halloween come from many, many different places, but that's one place that bugs that it came from. On All Hallows Eve, Christians believe that the veil between the material world and the afterlife was thinned, allowing the souls to pass through that veil. Now so today, what I'm going to talk to you about is other ways that across the world that people celebrate their ancestors that have died. And there's lots of traditions around the world to do so. And many of them are very joyful because it's a celebration of these people's lives and the memories of these people that their survivors have of them, just like we plant daffodils in honor of Debbie. So in Mexico and in some places in the US, Mexican tradition is they have the Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. And originally the observance would take place at the beginning of the summer, but following Spanish colonization, it was moved to coincide with All Hallows Eve. So it's interesting how with all sorts of holidays, it's so interesting how they come from certain traditions, and then as different cultures and different religions sort of merge, they sort of absorb each other's holidays, and you have different aspects of those holidays coming together. So a lot of these traditions actually bring in traditions of different places, just like Halloween, just like Christmas. So today, the Day of the Dead is widely celebrated all over Mexico. And it includes various customs from different regions. So each region has slightly different customs, but it is considered to be a joyful holiday, and anecdotes about the dead are frequently told. The original origin of the holiday can be traced back hundreds of years to Aztec festivals. The traditions that are associated with the holiday include building altars and eating special food, visiting the graves of the dead, and clearing them off and taking care of them and maintaining those grave sites, leaving flowers and candles. And the intent is to encourage visits by the souls so that the souls will hear the prayers and the comments of the living that are directed to them. It's also believed during this time that the veil between the living and the dead is lifted. And the colorful celebrations that happen as a part of the Day of the Dead are meant to encourage the souls and ghosts of the ancestors to cross that veil and to visit. Another tradition in Japan is Obon, which also sometimes is called the Japanese Day of the Dead. And Obon commemorates lost ancestors whose spirits are believed to come back during this time to visit their relatives. Sound familiar? Begin to notice a theme here. And this is traditionally it was celebrated more around the time of August. Since Obon commemorates the spirits of ancestors, many people in Japan return to their hometowns during this time to spend the holiday surrounded by their family and friends. In Kyoto, residents will publicly mark the end of Obon by lighting giant bonfires in the hills surrounding the city. They do this because the fires are thought to guide the spirits back to them from the world of the dead. There's also a traditional dance that's associated with Obon, which is called, I'm probably not going to pronounce this right, but Bonodori. And this is a traditional dance that's meant to welcome the spirits of the dead back into the world of the living. They also will honor the deceased through Turo Nagashi, which is floating lanterns. So they'll get these paper lanterns and light them up and put them in rivers, and they will float down the rivers into the ocean. So that's really cool. Now in Nepal, one of the most popular holidays is, I know I'm not going to pronounce this one right, Gaijatra. And this is called the Festival of the Cows. Now, in Nepal, cows are very important and very much revered by the people. So each family who has lost a relative during this holiday, each family who has lost a relative in the last year will lead a cow down the village street in procession. Now, if you don't have a cow, you can't procure one or get a hold of one for this holiday. Sometimes a child will dress up as a cow instead, and that child dressed as a cow will be led down the village street for this procession. So as I said, the cow is one of the most revered animals in Hinduism, and participants in this celebration believe that the animal will help lead the deceased family member back into the afterlife. It's believed to have begun in the 17th century, so many hundreds of years ago, when Nepal's king at the time invited the people to dress in costumes and perform plays and stunts in front of the palace in the hopes of making his wife happy after they had lost their son. And the queen did indeed smile at the sight of this celebration, and the parade has continued ever since. So that's the story of where it came from. And today participants will still dress in costume to celebrate this procession, and all sorts of costumes, not just kids dressed as cows. I'll tell you about one more. Let's go to Cambodia now, where sometime between mid-September and mid-October of each year, life slows down in observance of, I'm not going to get this one right, Chum Ben. So it's spelled P-C-H-U-M-B-E-N, 2 words. And this is one of the most important holidays in the Khmer religious calendar. So the holiday lasts for 15 days, during which time Cambodians gather at pagodas wearing white, which is the Cambodian color of mourning, to remember their ancestors. During these 15 days, the line between the living and dead is thought to be ended. its thinnest. And the Cambodians believe that during this time, the spirits come back in search of their living relatives, hoping to atone for the sins from their past life. So as you can see, there's lots of, even though the traditions vary from in different places and different religions and different cultures, there's a lot of overlap, right? There's a lot of things that that they share, and most commonly, it's ways of, they have different ways of doing so, but finding ways to sort of connect with those ancestors who are no longer around, and celebrating their life, celebrating what they did offer in their life when they were still alive. And that's what we hope to do by planting daffodils for Debiana. So I look forward to doing that with you on Sunday. And until then, stay safe and be kind.